7/17/19. Julie from the Heart of Feather Heart Temple YouTube site. I'm making this video for my nieces and my nephews to let you know that I love you with all my heart. And here's a dilemma that a lot of us who are abused and traumatized fall into. And I wanted to make a video about it, but I didn't quite know how. So here I am. What is hard about family units is when you love somebody who is loyal to the person that abuses you in the family unit, or persons in my case, brothers and sisters and fathers. So you cannot have meaningful relationships with those who don't abuse you, because they are really loyal to those who do abuse you, and they have no idea what you've been through, because if you tell them, they might not believe you, and it's not going to make any difference, because their loyalty to the person that has abused you will always be solidified by other things. It's very sad, because very few people in family units see the injustice and seek out to put a stop to it. They would rather be loyal to the injustice bringer so that they can reap the rewards that he or she may hold. That's the dilemma that we fall into when you're in a family unit, where the abuser is king. No one wants to speak out against the king. And if you do, you will be beheaded. But to those of you who are out there who have fallen into the same dilemma, I want you to know that disassociation is very important. And if you have to do some contact with some family members, if you want to do it that way with the ones that don't abuse you, it will help you to always give them limited information about your life, because they will always carry it, whatever you tell them, to the person that has abused you in your life. So you have to decide whether you want to go no contact with the full family and get on with your life, or no contact with the abuser, who will carry something to the one that doesn't abuse you, and then they will abuse you through them. Inadvertently, the ones who don't abuse you will be used to perpetuate abuse upon you. It's very strange how this works. So, in most cases, it is probably best to have no contact with the entire family unit. In my case, it would be the best for me. That's not always the case for others, because you have choices to make, and we learned from them. And one of the things I've learned is that no contact helps you get away from, it would be like having a bruise, okay, a wound that's beginning to heal. And then the abuser hits it again and again and again and again and again. And that wound just festers and never heals. But if you get away from the abuser that is hitting it over and over and over, it begins to heal. Now, I'm not saying you will ever be completely I think we are, when they injure us in our brains, that there is irreversible brain damage. I think we overcome obstacles that these things create in our lives. I don't think we ever get to the point where those wounds are healed over, but just like any other wound, the skin surface is still very sensitive. So, my point being is, it's a very odd position to be in, but let me tell you something. I would much rather be in the oddball position of deciding who I have contact with and no contact with than being in the center of it, being abused constantly no matter which way you turn. At one time in your life, you are going to have to go no contact in order to get your bearings so that you can get your power back and decide what you want, who you want in your life. That is how you do it. Because whatever they are, or whoever they are, that's draining you, that's what they will continue to do. They always put on the mask when they want you back. But it always falls down. And it will never end until you remove yourself from that person that's abusing you, or persons. Then you'll begin to see what I see and others like me who have reached that point where if we go back, we understand that we will be abused again and again and again. And there were times where I said to a friend of mine, maybe it's all in my head. Maybe they really aren't doing things to me to upset me. And then I would try to trick myself into maybe going back. But for some reason, at this point in my life, there is no going back. And I'm okay with that. Have a beautiful day, beautiful people. Just think, your sense of peace is one step away. And it's called no contact with those who abuse you. No contact whatsoever. What a thought.